Hey lovelies, it's Alexa with Blue Woods Design, and I am so stoked. Today is a collaboration between me and Jenny Manno, and we do a little mashup of some pictures from Pinterest. Now, if you don't follow Jenny, you need to. She's amazing. This is just a few snapshots of some of her pieces, and she is redonkulous with her talent. Oh my gosh, just amazing. So I have all her links down below in the description box, so make sure you follow her. For today, we picked a few pictures from Pinterest that we found, and we decided which ones appeal to us, which ones would be a fun little mashup to do. So these are the three we chose, and we are totally inviting you to play along with us today and either use our three photos that we chose as your inspiration, or even just using our pieces as your inspiration. So I sketched my girl first just to get a sense, and I did create a circle because if you follow Jenny Manno, you know she loves to do a circle and put her girl right in the middle. So that was my little nod to our collaboration. So I am starting off with some pencils, graphite pencils, and those are various levels. 10B is what I use mostly. I use some charcoal, and I use my Stabilo All Pencil and some blenders. And I started looking at these girls and I was like, I really want to interpret it a little differently. So I used the girl that kind of had her head tilted and just kind of the straight faced, no paint on her face, that girl. So I used her as sort of my inspiration for my actual girl. And when I do that, what I'm looking at, obviously I want to still do it in my style, but using reference photos is a great way to even explore and find your style, because what you can do is have your reference photo, which is what I did, and I would take a look at one part of her face or a feature that I was focusing on, and I would take a look at the size, the proportion, maybe the shape of it, and then I would go to my page and I would do that in my own way. And what I mean by that is, obviously these eyes are very far apart and very whimsical. So when I'm looking at her, I'm looking more at the shape of her eye, and then I draw them where it feels good, blah, blah, blah. I've also used that reference for sort of the shape of her neck and body placement. That's another great reason to use a reference photo. It kind of pushes you to think about angles and things like that. This braid that I'm doing is from the girl with the blue on her face. I loved that she had this big loose braid, and I love kind of the challenge of doing a braid because it seems like it should be easy, but it's a little tricky. You have to really think it through. But I love how this one came out. I think it's so cute. I used the turtleneck from the girl with the gold on her eye and the black line on her face. I used that turtleneck as inspiration. So I've kind of got all three of them going on right now. And I have gone through with a 10B pencil and gone over all my lines. And now I'm bringing my blender and really blending those in. And that's how I'm going to get a lot of my shading. You'll see later I end up going back in even with a Stabilo and then wetting that to get some even more depth and dimension. But here's the thing. So the way that I wanted to use the paint on the girl's face, I wanted to use it differently. I didn't want to just do exactly what was on there, because I'm like, how am I wanted to just come up with something different. So I used the lines on that one girl's face as my inspiration to create, I started by just creating this line on her face. And then I was like, what if I extend these lines all the way through the circle? And then I was like, well, what if I divided a couple more times with similar lines, and then I do a cool black and white meets color type thing. Each section is either in color or black and white. So that's what I'm creating. So you'll see I'm kind of doing my color, but it's in like a squared off way. That's because I have sketched in my lines. And I will say, I did not measure. My lines are not perfectly straight. If you know me at all, you know that I'm like a go type of creator. Like I just go. So if there's not a ruler handy, I'm going to just eyeball these lines and that's how it's going to go. So I have drawn in these lines. It's a little hard to see here just because they're super lightly sketched at the moment. But you can see that it's creating this zigzag section. And in that section, one part is going to be colored in, the next part is going to stay in black and white. So I really am playing with two techniques here, if you will, because if you're doing just your black and white shading, right, that side I'm using mostly charcoal, a little bit of Stabilo. In the part for the color, I am using, this is the Jane Davenport, her palette pastels, and I love using pastels and the chalk carbothellos. Like I love all of that. I feel like you can get such cool blending. I just happened to grab these because I will say the skin tones that they have, or that she has in her line, is just awesome. Like it helps you get so much depth and dimension to your character. The other thing is this one off to the right here, that one's like all shimmery and beautiful. And that shimmer, while it doesn't always capture in a photo, the actual piece is just stunning because it just catches the light so gorgeously. Okay, so those are kind of the big concept things, right? I'm also going to go through, like I said, with my Stabilo, and you will see me with a water brush kind of wetting all of that. I'm trying to go over all the supplies before I let you hang out and just watch how I create. I also then use a couple of black ink pens, like a Micron and my Jane Davenport one. I always use that fountain like looking pen. It's kind of like a brush pen by Jane Davenport. I love finishing with that because it can give me really nice crisp lines, but because it's a brush pen, I can use it kind of loosely. Here you can see I'm using my Micron, and it's kind of a wide flat tip, and I'm creating these lines that are going to be my sections, if you will. And as you notice, I have to go over it a few times because I'm never quite straight. Like I said, everything's done just like, do it. I did actually use something to make my circle because I was like, I do have to make an actual circle. I can't just eyeball that. But yeah, I think I'm trying to think if there's any other. Oh, I do use gold gesso, and it is from the Crafter's Workshop, and that gold gesso has so much beautiful shimmer and shine to it. And then lastly, I just use, for the paint swatches at the very end, I just use kind of random paints, just acrylic. I have some that is Liquitex Basics and some that is just like craft acrylic, and even like a heavy body. I just grabbed colors that spoke to me from my collection, and some of them are, all different quality, all different levels. So that didn't really matter to me because I'm just doing paint swatches at the very end. I'm going to let you guys hang out and watch, and I hope you are inspired. You guys have to go check out Jenny's picture. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to watch her video because I've already seen her picture, which I showed at the beginning of the video, and it is so cool. Totally Jenny style and amazing, and just, she pushes us all to be better. It's amazing. So I hope you'll go check hers out, and I hope you guys are inspired to create something from these various pieces of inspiration. It could be from my picture, it could be from her picture, it could be from any of the three we chose as our inspiration pieces. I did show those at the beginning. You can go back and pause it and find your inspiration there. Or you could take all 5 of those and say, all right, I'm going to sit down and create whatever comes out based on all these gorgeous girls. But if you play along and if you are inspired to create, please tag both of us on social media. I am Bluewoods Design or Alexa Dobler, so you can find me on either spot. On Instagram, I'm Bluewoods Design. And Jenny Manno is Next Generation Art, and she has a Facebook group, which I will link below. So definitely tag both of us. We would love, love, love to see, like, the whole part of us doing this was we love to do collaborations and kind of push ourselves as artists, but collaborations are also just a great way for us all to connect on an idea and create together in a weird way. But it really, really, like, just gives us all the feels when we see people being inspired and trying new things or creating alongside of us. So I hope to see what you guys create. And I think that's about it, you guys. I'm going to let you hang out and watch with some music, because who doesn't love that? And just grab some coffee and chill and enjoy. And make sure you go check out Jenny's video after this, because it's going to be amazing. And you will learn so much from her, like I do. All right, you guys, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you soon with another collaboration coming soon.